Fred is always on time. Very consistent. He understands how to sell our message and defend the party to the hilt against any naysayers and detractors that are out there against the PLP.
He's about to speak. Let's honor and let him listen. Let us listen.
Michael Pintard, the leader of the opposition, was trying to lecture the Prime Minister of the Bahamas and the leader of the Progressive Liberal Party on ethics. Now, ain't that something? I can say it again. The leader of the opposition, Michael Pintard, who had to resign as chairman of the Free National Movement because of ethics, wants to lecture the Prime Minister of the Bahamas on ethics. Ah, my. Things are really tough. And then someone was trying to send him a message. The former Prime Minister and former leader of the Free National Movement was quoted in the press as saying that he advised the now leader of the opposition not to run in West End and Bimini because he was sure to get beat, because the PLP is the government and there's no reason to switch in midstream 2 years into a term. What you gonna switch for? Because the F&M can't give you nothing. That was good advice. But here's the problem he faced. He's got the other Hubert waiting in the wings. So he's got the horns of a dilemma. If he runs and he loses, the other Hubert will say, Michael Pintard, you gotta go. And then, if he doesn't put a candidate in, the same Hubert, the other Hubert, is gonna say he's weak and he gotta go. So Michael Pintard couldn't make up his mind, and ultimately he cast his lot with running for the effort, running in the next election with a Free National Movement candidate who started out with the wonderful evocation that I'm a broke man, to the point where people had a song saying, we don't want no broke bishop, we don't want no broke bishop. That's what Michael Pintard is faced with. Am I? Such is the fate of the Free National Movement. But on this side, we're 2 years into a term, and we've done remarkably well. And
the Progressive Liberal Party,
PLP, marching on to victory.
And there's no reason to shift the ship of state at this point in time. No reason. You know, people say this or say that. But 2 years ago, remember this? A fellow would wake up out of bed in the morning and say, the food stores closed down 6 o'clock. And he had women standing on line, running to the supermarket to get milk for their children before 6 o'clock in the evening.
my God.
That's what was happening 2 years ago. 2 years ago, a man was fined $750 for selling coconuts. $750. Another man was fined $250 for going to the pump to collect water. That was 2 years ago. 2 years later, the economy is open. You're free to go outside in your yard. You're free to go to the food store. There are no shortages. There's food on the shelves. There's money in the bank, money in your pockets. The tourists are here in great numbers. Ain't God good?
Can you tell me who's in the building? PLP. Say who's in the building?
And who do we have to thank for that? Amen. Say it again, brother. Say it again, brother. We have a leader. His name is Philip Edward Brave Davis. And you know the man. And I keep telling people his pa gave him the name Brave. It's actually on the birth certificate. So don't miss it out when you call his name in the House of Assembly. Philip Edward Brave Davis. From Cat Island. And I think it was Tony McKay who said, Cat Island man is a little piece of... Amen. Mrs. Davis, I guess you could tell us that, right? Oh, boy. So, he's the man who helped to bring the party to where it is today. Slowly, step by step, bringing the party and the country to where we have a stable situation. People are well off, wages are up, there's food on the table, tourists in the hotels. What more can you ask for? But there's much more work to be done. And today, I was outlining to folk what is actually happening in our country. You have the Minister of Works, who's just taken the seat, Clay Sweeting, sitting in the front row. And he has, in the last week, sent out a raft of tenders. And the bridges, and the roads in Eleuthera, and Long Island, and the airports, we'll start to build them step by step, and our people will be put to work. That's what Clay Sweeting is going to do. And who can forget the work which our Minister of Education is doing in the schools? Today, the children are back in school and learning their lessons. Our Minister of Health, what is he doing? Building 2 new hospitals and looking after the nation's wellness. Our Minister of Transport, JoBeth Colby Davis, is re-engineering the transport sector, reforming the energy sector, and more people than ever have taxi plates, livery plates, SD plates, tour cars. This is enhancing the economic wealth in the country. I said the tourism numbers are up. The investment numbers are up due to the work of Chester Cooper. The Environment Minister, Vaughan Miller, the Prime Minister are working for the fight of climate change. Our Sports Minister, Mario Boleg, has reinvigorated sports and culture.
Can you tell me who's in the building?
And Jobo Campbell has taken over the horn of agriculture. The Attorney General, Ryan Pinder, is keeping us on the straight and narrow. The public purse is being guarded by the Prime Minister's Minister of Finance and Mike Halkitis, his Trade Minister. Keith Bell is doing a wonderful job in housing. Lisa Rami is now fast at work in urban renewal and housing. And Pia Glover-Roll.
Can you tell me who's in the building? Say who's in the building?
She's captured the hearts and minds of the public service, chipping away every day at the list of those expecting to be permanent and pensionable. Immigration policy is now managed by Alfred Sears. Zane Lightman has now put his considerable talents to the environment. National Security Minister Wayne Munro is the chief crime fighter.
Can you tell me who's in the building?
Miles Verota is the captain of our nation's poor and charged to ensure that they get a fair share. And then you've got Wayne Watson, who's wiring the community parks, Patricia DeVoe, the Iron Lady in the House of Assembly, Ambassador Leslie Miller, who you just spoke before me, gave a wonderful set of members.
Can you tell me who's in the building?
Leroy Major is our leader at BAIC. Ginger Moxie is cutting new ground in Grand Bahama.
Can you tell me who's in the building?
Basil McIntosh is leading the way in airport development in his support role at the Ministry of Tourism. And then, of course, you've got our parliamentary secretaries, board chairs, Mikkel Barnaby, Sylvanus Petty.
PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way.
John Pinder, Kirk Cornish, Bacchus Roll, Jamal Strawn, our senators, Barry Griffin, Quentin Lightman, Michelle Adderley, Kirk Russell, James Turner, Terrell Young, Eresia Hepburn, Darren Pickstock, Randy Roll, Ronald Duncombe. Each and every member is engaged in the business of people helping people. And I want this convention to stand and give them a rousing round of applause.
The PLP. Look at it, come on.
PLP, all the way, PLP.
You just heard the Minister of Foreign Affairs and National Party Chair. What do you say, Mr. Roberts?
our chairman, Frederick Mitsisala, he went down the list of accomplishments from the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, and the various cabinet ministers on how they've been performing over the last 2 years. You just mentioned in terms of Minister of Public Service, Pierre Glover. From her perspective, many people fail to realize she also just established promotions in the public service that has made her extremely popular. More money in people's pockets and upward mobility in their job environment.
She just took a hard stand with the union proposing a $350 increase, and she said, well, that's what it is.
Well, with that, Debbie, we just had minimum wage increase less than a year ago, and so we wanted to take things in stages. She just also negotiated in 2 years 22 industrial agreements. 22. So it only reflects that the PLP is labor friendly and always have been labor friendly. That is a part of our relationship since our formation in 1953. We've always been union friendly, and that is just a part of our relationship that we want to continue to build with all of the union organizations throughout
Do you
the
think you're
Bahamas.
going to get through this one with O.B. Ferguson, TUC president, saying that other unions are prepared to come together and stand for what their request is? Let's hold that thought for a moment, because we have Julian Reed's voice paying tribute to some of the fallen giants, and I believe it's for the Honorable Perry Gomez.
Perry Gomez.
Yes, let's listen in.
Contributions transformed the lives of people living with HIV/AIDS. The Honorable George A. Smith, Alma Adams, and Dr. M. Perry Gomez made exceptional contributions to the PLP and the Bahamas. And he was a broadcaster of the highest caliber, a formidable force in the House of Assembly, a member of Parliament so committed to his constituents that after a devastating hurricane, he hopped on a jet ski to help his people. And one day, just like that, he was gone. His mantra, one love. The Honorable Obadiah Wilshcombe.
My name is Andrea. I've been involved in the PLP since the age of 11. So I guess that brings me to I can't say the amount of years, but I've known Obi over the last, I think, 30 to 32 years. And we became best friends. He was like my brother, my confidant, and my mentor. And I think when I first met Obi was when I was working at the Broadcasting Corporation. I was assigned as a driver then to collect Mr. Wilshcombe from the airport. And I went to the international airport, and there came this, this young man stepping over this big afro and his glasses on. So I saw this Obi right here.
I'm trying to remember, I think it was in the early 80s that I received a call from Celinda asking me whether I knew this young man by the name of Obi Wilshcombe. I told him, I said, no. He said, well, he said, I had an encounter with him. He said, and I think he's a young man that has tremendous potential. I said, tremendous potential in what? He said, well, he's in the area of broadcasting. And I think he has a tremendous, but I need for you to find out a little bit more about him, Charlie.
He came into the vehicle and I introduced myself to him and we talked and he introduced himself to me. And on our way from the airport, we just had a conversation. I telling him who I am and how I got started at ZNS, and I just a driver for now. I told him, I said, I just a driver for now because I was told by Kendall Norwich just to put my foot in the door to get in. So he said to me, he said, I could see you going places. And our conversation get on. He talked about politics and we say, oh, we on the same page. We PLP just alike. So at that point in conversating with Opie, I saw in him that I said, boy, one day this gentleman, talented, going to be a politician. And so said, so done.
I had arranged a gathering with him. And he expressed to me his desire. He wanted to be in broadcasting. And enthusiasm he showed. Told Sir Lyndon, I said, yeah, I agree with you, tremendous potential. And as time went on, our relationship, came stronger and cemented.
Got to know Obie Wilschcombe from a very young boy. He and my mom were very close and worked closely together. And so growing up, it was quite an honor to be in the presence of someone who I had grown up respecting, understanding, appreciating.
Sir Lyndon Pinley made a determination to appoint me to become a board member of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. Obie Wilschcombe was an employee, a young, uprising, talented young man who we got to know was sufficiently close to Lyndon Oscar Pinley, the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, to be considered a political ally. That's how I got to know him.
He recruited me to start ZNS right away, and my very first real job was at ZNS under Obie as a news director. And through the years, I always had this relationship with him where he was never fully satisfied. At least that was my impression.
Andrew was talking about it. Obie had to move for him. Working with him, you had to. He was a good boss. I'm going to hide that. He was excellent. But when it comes to his work and you producing his stories and stuff, that was different side of Obie was C.
It was always a B+. It was never A or A-. Even if it really was, he would never tell me that it was an A. And again, knowing him, he always did that so that I had something to shoot for.
But I was the only one, I believe, all the reporters used to send me there to Obie office to take their scripts and he'd fling it back at me and say, Andre, tell him get it right. Obie was just that kind of person who wanted to get the best out of you. And he pushed those reporters to get the best out of them. And I think he did an excellent job at that. Everybody knew what Obie stand for, everybody knew what politics was. When it comes, he was a professional at the end of the day when it comes to him producing his work and producing the stories that get on the air.
I have given all I can, and I will give my life to ensure that my people get what they want. So we don't want anybody who wants to fake it. We don't want anybody who's not serious about it. If you're not prepared to die for it, don't jump into the game. This is about serving the Bahamian people.
So very sobering, and I have Paulette Oliver in Washington. We grew up with Obie Wilschcombe, and I want to, Paulette, what did you think of those tributes and to Obie and all of those who were paid tribute to? Paulette? She's not hearing me, so we have Obie Rogers. What came to mind as your father was a giant himself, and of course we have celebrated his legendary status? What came to mind? as you looked at the fallen heroes?
Well, it's just a reflection in terms of the contribution of so many great men and women that have paved the way, that the shoulders that we stand on right now in the PLP, that we have learned from and contributed significantly to the development of our country through this great institution we know as the Progressive Liberal Party.
All right, we're going to have some entertainment. We were talking earlier, but just before they come on and as they really celebrate, we have Julian Reed back here with us, and we have to talk about when we boy, that's some loud music, isn't it? There's a hit, hey.
Everybody stand up! Sexy body, looking so good. I'll take a bite if I could. Girl, you know your body looks good. You're so fine, you blow my mind. Come give me the sweet thing right now. Let's go! Come give me the cherry right now. Come give me the sweet thing right now. I like water right now. Give me right now. Come blow my horn till the early morn. I'll turn you around before it's done. A little piece is all I need. And that's the fun under the sheet. I may sound crazy, but I'm not lazy. I'll do it again, just tell me when. Call the police! Call the police if I'm no good. You know I'm from the neighborhood. Woo! Give me the sweet thing right now. Let's go! Give me the cherry right now. Come give me the one, get ready. Right two, now. Get ready. One, two, 1, 2, 3, let's go! Now so in the capital. Pull it up, pull it up. PLP. PLP. Let's go down to the capital. Let's go. One, let's go, Brad. Two, in the 1, 2, 3, let's go. Now so in the capital. Woo. Let's go. 1492, Columberland. 1973, we were free. From Nassau to Inagua. Let's go. From Freeport to Meguana. Tourists love our country, Bahamas. 700 islands, Bahamas. Happy independent. Let's go. Happy anniversary, Bahamas. Everybody sing, sing. Happy independent. Let's go. Happy anniversary, Bahamas. Woo. Happy independence, Bahamas. Let's go. Happy anniversary, Bahamas. Break it down, break it down. Now so it's the capital. It's the gateway. Let's go. Chocolate Bay Street. Bahamas. Let's go. 22 Bahamas. Say what? Today, Bahamas. Silent on the weekend, Bahamas. Bahamas. Let's go. Go, 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 PLP, go, PLP, go, PLP, go, 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 hands up, go, hands up, go, Brad, go, Brad, go, 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 go. Happy Independence, Bahamas. Happy anniversary, Bahamas. Let's go. Happy Independence, Bahamas. Golden anniversary, Bahamas. Thank you. PLP! PLP!
You've been listening to that entertainment, Elkin 360. I tell you that one of the most popular songs right now. I mean, there is absolutely high energy. And just before Elkin 360, we had the great tributes. What went through your mind? We were colleagues of Obie Wilshcombe, of course. We're paying tribute to Dr. Gomez and the Honorable George Smith.
We have lost a lot of its solid members over the past few years. fitting to pay tribute to them.
Absolutely.
And those 150 plus stalwart councillors who really are the backbone of the
Yes. We just have the Honorable Mario Molag, who has just joined us.
Welcome, Minister.
Yeah, he's the Minister of Sports, and I heard a roar when they talked about you down there, Minister Molag. I just love your focus, and you have a ready plan when you talk about your vision. You are just so sure of what you speak to your vision.
Sports?
In sports.
Yeah. But you know, see, Bahamas is sports and paradise. There's no place in the world that persons want to come that is close proximity to the United States. And so my vision is to make sure that how can we bring economic boosts to the country outside of just having the sunshine and sea in the hotel. So what attracts people, and as you can see now, we want to bring all of our sporting facilities up to A1 standard. That's why we are about to start the repairs to the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium, the Betty Kenning Swim Complex, and upgrade many of the facilities around the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We have put in a 10-year plan, which Cabinet has approved for $40 million over 10 years, $4 million a year, to ensure that we develop the Family Island facilities. Most of our elite athletes that are performing well are coming from the Family Island, so we believe if we put the facility in place, those diamond and rough will become multiple, and we'll have much more. And then we can have a greater presentation to the international competition, when the Olympics and all these other games. And so it's very important that we build the facilities, we ensure that we have the necessary coaching skills to teach the fundamentals to our student athletes, so that we can regain our place in number one smallest nation in the world when it comes to the athletics.
Well, Minister, you know one thing, the Bahamas and Bahamians are excelling globally in all kinds of sports. How are you looking at diversifying sporting generally, even at the lowest level, at the earliest level?
Well, as you can see, we are moving more away from the regular sports, I call them, where we now have archery and all of these other sports, flag football, that are coming around now. We want to give our student athletes as much exposure as possible. Again, in collaboration and partnership with the Ministry of Education, we work along with them to ensure that they put the necessary and the right athletes.
There's one question that I have to ask for, because of course we're bringing back the World Athletics Relays. How excited are you and your team about that? What are your plans coming on?
Very, very excited. I met with Ministry of Works today, Minister Kingswood, and his PS and his technical team. Invite the team at the Ministry of Sports and Culture. Of course, the Chinese government has donated that facility to us, and they have now decided to come on board to assist us in ensuring that the facility for the world relay. And so I'm just happy that this time is here.
Well, right now we have to take it to the podium because we are going to hear from Kingsley Smith, who is the Progressive People Party's candidate for West, Grand Bahama, and Bimini.
And how do you feel about that?
Well, Kingsley born in West End, grew up in West End. His fiance has ties in Bimini, so he has some ties to the constituency of West End. I think now he has to go into that portion of the environment where the bishop has a strong hold and try to, election is all about numbers, and look at his numbers. I do believe that it would make sense for that constituency to take the seat of Governor Andrew Brown, because we have the government and we can do much more. Go to opposition and hoping and wishing for things, that's just not going to happen. You are 36, 40 months out from the general election, so it would only make good sense to allow us to build on things that we wish he would put in place and allow things to be built on that. Now that he has the government on his side, finishing some of those works, and if they feel as though he can do what he needs to do in the next 36, 41, and if they feel like they need to make a change, then that's an opportunity.
And here is Kingsley Smith.
Yes, there he is.
Right through to our Prime Minister and leader of our party, the Honorable Philip Brave Davis.
Family, family.
The PLP was founded to bring about fundamental change. The PLP was founded to overthrow the shackles of political and economic oppression. The PLP was founded to bring about opportunities and remove the obstacles that stand in the way of ordinary Bahamians. I am deeply honored to be a part of this tradition, and I commit to do all that I can to continue to build on the progress of the past. And so, the plans I have put forward in our campaign will build on the efforts begun by the late Honorable naming it for Obi. And we've just signed a management agreement for the new airport in Bimini. And there's more. Our New Day government is committed to building a new school in Holmes Rock, repairing and building more affordable homes, building new seawalls to keep people safe from hurricanes. And this fits into our national plans too. Bring down the cost of living, bring down crime, increase the number of available jobs, expand the opportunities for building wealth, and invest in better education and good health for the Bahamian people. PLPs, I know that our communities need because I'm a part of them. And the years I have spent coaching and mentoring young people through sports has shown me what compassionate leadership can do. And so tonight, this boy from Boodle Bay says thank you. Together, we will secure even greater progress for our party, our country, and the Bahamian people. God bless you. PLPs! 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 Thank you.
You know, Minister Mario Moxie. Oh my God, who's Mario Moxie? Oh, Harvest. You're a minister, but that's not that one.
Don't worry, Mario Moxie and I always laugh at that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they call me Pauline, they call you Moxie. I say, yeah, I know.
But you know, he talked about building on the efforts of former minister, the late. How important is that?
That is very important because I had an opportunity to speak with Obi Wilchcombe during his tenure and my short tenure as a politician in the House. And one thing Obi always do is try to teach us to do things the right way and ensure that we stay on the ground and stay connected to the people. And you know, Obi had a love and heart for the people in West Grand Bahama and Bimini. And there were some things that he wanted to do that he would make sure, remind you as his colleague, that I need you to come down there and get these things done for us. And the sporting facilities that he wanted to repair up there and upgrade, we're going to make sure that it's done. I spoke to Kingsley already. And so as I say, West End and Bimini, the government is already in your hands. You need to leave your constituency in the government hands so we can get some things done.
Yes, and can we, Paulette, you were able to listen to the presentation by Kingsley Smith. Can you hear me there in Washington? It looks like Paulette is not picking up on us yet. We got her earlier, and it's just such a great value to have a perspective for somebody who lived here all her life, but participated in the PLP from 13 and now is a diplomat in Washington. But
go ahead. I'll ask you this because obviously conventions are meant to bring the party together, make it stronger, and in just about 2 weeks, you've got this by-election. How much of this energy do you think will be transferred into that campaign?
All of it. The Prime Minister has spoken to all of us. We all will be on the ground as of next week. I don't know if you would have been aware of, but most of the persons that were from Providence and Grand Bahama that is in that constituency did not come to convention because we left them on the ground, ensuring that they stay on the ground and keeping the ground wet. And so those of us who are here, we're going to take the whole contingent. We're going to go down between Grand Bahama and Bimini to ensure that we win this seat. Michael Dowell is waiting for me to get on the plane Monday to get in Bimini with him. I have some ties in Bimini, and so like I said, we're going to have the whole contingent after this convention to go down there.
Now, are there concerns about because there are 5 candidates in Grand Bahama, or you think this is strictly just going to be between the Free National Movement and the PLP,
At the end of the day, it's going to be between those two, but I believe the Coalition of Independence is making some dent inside there. Their representatives inside there doing some things. When I was down there on the ground, he was fixing some individuals' roofs and stuff, and so, you know, they're going to be persons who may probably lean towards him, because like they might say, hey, it's a by-election, it's not a general election, and you know how some Bahamians might think, well, just give him a chance. We got to watch out for that, because he can steal some of the votes that can very well make the competition much stiffer than it.
When you say steal the votes, do you think that a COI and the other candidates may be taking more of the votes from the PLP or the FNL?
Well, I would say both, because the last in the general election, COI had over 300 votes. Now there are leaders down there who has the ability to attract even much more. So when you start going from 300 plus, that will be pulling away from both parties. Anything can happen.
What do you think the PLP has to do to bring the change that the theme addresses, where people apparently with the interest, seemingly growing interest in other parties like the COI, what is it that the PLP has to do differently?
Well, I don't think the PLP has to do anything differently. PLP has to defend the stories that are being said out there by the COI as it relates to this funding that Bahamians believe they can get this 100,000, and we need to put a stop to that, because the facts remain. A COI can win the day tomorrow. There's no 100,000 going to go to each individual Bahamian household, you know. And I think reality and facts needs to set in, and we need to both. Major parties need to speak to the story and the facts of what it is when it comes to that.
Every speaker has talked about the accomplishments of the Progressive Liberal Party in the 25 months. Do you feel that the general population connects with the record-breaking achievements in a 25-month period?
Our research would show yes, because most persons that I would have spoken to and others, when they did their search, you will find that most persons believe that it's time for that necessary change, where we don't change government too quick anymore to get some things done. And they can see, that's why we choose this theme. They can see that the progress was made. We're saying to the Bahamian people now, give us a chance to build on that progress, and we have some new changes that are coming that are going to impact the social and economic well-being of all Bahamians at all levels. And so if they give us that opportunity, we say in the next 36, 40 months we're going to prove to them that we're going to pass some legislations that will trickle down to the small man and woman inside the country.
You know, you're talking about 70 years. And when you look at what the vision, stated vision of inclusion, of equality, particularly gender equality, economic empowerment, the Progressive Liberal Party gave birth to the middle class. The middle class is weakened for any number of reasons. Do you feel that the approach that you're taking now is going to rebuild, strengthen, expand the middle class?
I think it's going to expand and strengthen the middle class, but what's most important is the individuals that are supposed to be the caretakers of the middle class in these constituencies. We must remain on the ground and remain connected to the people, and we must respond quickly to the people's needs. And that's what the Progressive Liberal Party used to do in the past and is starting to do now. But it cannot be, I can't or I will not. And we are one team. And sometimes the cry and need for a member of parliament, he needs his colleagues, because I'm the minister of, I'll use me for example, the minister of youth, sports and culture. If there's potholes in my street and the people are complaining, then I need the minister for work to get on that. And so one thing the Prime Minister has been preaching is that we are a team, you can't win by yourself. You could win and the rest could lose, you're going to be in the opposition. So if we don't work together to ensure the strong, what you call inner city PLP holds, and take care of the business of those, then we'll find ourselves in problems, because recently the FNM has been able to overpower the those persons and tell them that, hey, PLP been in charge of you for many years and they ain't done nothing for you, you're still living the same way, and some of that may be true. And so we have to do much more for those who've been supporting us over these years.
Yeah, and you're talking about the inner city communities that feel disenfranchised, that feel that they're not getting the access to opportunity, that feel that perhaps there's a click for opportunities. What do you do and what do you say about that perception?
Well, the perception will always be there because it depends. Some persons just, you give an individual assistance and then they go there and they put it in the other individual's face has to say, I'm prepared, I can get this from my MP, but you can't. And so what we need to do is that share the wealth. You have to share the wealth as a member of parliament. I can tell you, these roadside contracts has been a thorn in the side. And what I did when I got my roadside contract, I said to the individuals, every 12 months I'm going to rotate those, and I've been doing that. Now, I got flack from some of my colleagues on it, but they realize now it's working because you cannot take 5 years and feed one individual and leave the rest. You need as much votes as possible to regain your seat. So you have to look at the needs of the persons in your constituency and then give those contracts to those who need it, not who wants it. And find means of ways to find like a job or other revenue for those who are looking for it.
Well, Minister, the question I think that everybody is, I know you've heard it 100 times, but how is the government taking a vigorous approach to lower the cost of living in this country? Of course, the first thing that you can hear about is your light bill and how exorbitantly high it is. We know that the government said, well, okay, today that extra fee ain't coming on no more, forget that. But what else is the government doing to actually ensure that the cost of living, and we know there are a lot of external factors,
right?
But what can the government do and is the government doing to ensure that the cost of living
One
becomes
thing,
more affordable?
our new legislation agenda will speak to that. One of the first things we just passed is the new Consumer Protection Act that will protect our customers and consumers and the Bahamian people from those stores who try to overprice them on these small items. Also, when you look at the light bill, we know that no matter how much work we have done, we know we have a lot of work to do. And we're looking at putting a lot of solar plants in the family islands and also the change that were made in cabinet is also a broader based on some of the changes we want, the new changes that is going to come to help defer all of these extra costs. We've also increased minimum wage that allow persons to cope with the increase of inflation. And so we're doing some things. We've had the first promotion, public-wide promotion over 9 years. And we've increased the salaries for the teachers and the nurses. So we understand that there's need, and so the increase of salaries, they are just some of the things that we are doing to try and defer these costs.
Minister, thank you. We want to let people hear from Minister Jomo Campbell
Most
now,
definitely.
who actually has a new portfolio, agriculture, fisheries. Let's go to the podium.
Yeah, I hope
Jomo
we talk
Campbell.
about self-sufficiency, but we want to come back to talk about what you were talking about, what we need.
Understanding that great men and women have dedicated their lives to our party and its causes. I stand before you tonight, PLP and proud. Are you proud to be PLP? Since its inception, the PLP has been on the front lines to stamp out injustice, disenfranchisement, and poverty in our country. The PLP has done more for Bahamians and the Bahamian people than any other political party in the history of the Bahamas. And the proof is there for all to see. National Insurance, PLP. Independence, PLP. The Royal Bahamas Defense Force, Mortgage Corp, BDB, National Health Insurance, Linden Building Airport, BAMSI, College of the Bahamas, the University of the Bahamas, and the list goes on and on. PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way, PLP, all the way, so sad. Now, there are those who wish to make you feel that this organization is past its prime. Let them know that we are just getting started.
in the PLP. God bless the PLP, and God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. PLP! PLP! PLP!
It was staggering to me to hear that the lowest unemployment rate in 15 years has happened in 25 short months. Minister, what is your response?
Well, that's facts, and we will have to get the figures of that to you. Since pre-COVID to now, we've been able to have unemployment rate at the lowest thus far from what we've got from the Department of Statistics. And so, is it us? Or is it something that was in trend before us? However, we sit in the chair right now and we have done some things that boost the economy, so we will take the praises as well.
What do you think is the tourism numbers? Is it linkages and other industries that's bringing a more resilient economy?
I think it's a combination of many things. One thing we have done is we have the 52-week program. We have also allowed